Thank you very much, Senator Manchin, and I want to welcome the nominee and especially appreciate the fact that Congressman Young introduced you, Congresswoman. He has been a model of trying to work with people on both sides of the aisle, and I'm going to get into that question of bipartisan collaboration because it sounds like you're one of the leaders in terms of actually pulling people together to come up with bipartisan solutions. In other words, it's fine to talk about ideas, and it's also fine to say, well, I'm going to be bipartisan, and people can say, oh, I'll take somebody's lousy idea. You've really done the hard work to put together bipartisan coalitions, and I'm going to start with the first topic of rural jobs, because, as you know, Congressman Neguse and I have put together the 21st Century Civilian Conservation Corps, which would put together an effort with thousands of jobs in rural communities. And you just think about the number of vendors, and I see my friend from New Mexico who's been very interested in this issue as well. The number of vendors, for example, that would be selling goods and services to the 21st Century Civilian Conservation Corps would be a huge economic multiplier for rural communities. That's what rural jobs are really all about. So I think it'd be great if you could talk about a couple of the examples that were most important to you, both in terms of generating jobs in rural communities and in terms of coalition building, because those are two sides of the same coin in rural America. My friend from New Mexico always kids me about our Oahe project that you and I have talked about. After 50 years of fighting and arguing about the Oahe, we've now put together what amounts to a first-of-its-kind coalition, farmers and environmental folks and the like. So we'll get the jobs and we'll have the benefits of the environmental protection, which will be a big recreation engine for the area. So talk to us a little bit about your views on rural jobs, and you can start, for example, with the bill Congressman Neguse and I have, and talk about other areas that are important to you so people walk out of here recognizing what I saw, which is you're actually pulling people together. You got us sponsors for that bill with the congressman. So
thank you.
Let's hear your thoughts.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Senator. And yes, I couldn't agree with you more that collaboration is absolutely important. And I was the highest rated freshman for bipartisanship in the 116th Congress. I think it's important. And in fact, the reason that Mr. Young and I became such good friends is that he helped me to pass a lot of bills. Our offices worked very well together, and I think that's important. We can have different views. We can think differently. If we were all the same, we probably wouldn't get a whole lot done either. But I feel like the people of New Mexico sent me to Congress to get work done, and that's precisely what I've done. I appreciate your you having the opportunity to bring ranchers, tribes, and folks together in those collaborations. My sister, she married a rancher and gave birth to 3 cowboys and a cowgirl. That's what they do. They care deeply about the land and their animals. And so I think that if we can all work together, if we can I think we can do it all. I think we can work together. I think we can protect our public lands. I think we can create jobs. The Civilian Climate Corps is a brilliant idea, and I look forward to young people having those opportunities. It's a tough time in this country sometimes, and not every parent was like my dad. Not everyone has the opportunity, if they're working 2 and 3 jobs, to make sure their kids spend time outdoors. But I think giving opportunities to those young people will change their lives and give them the opportunity to care deeply about our environment.
Well, I appreciate your answer, Congresswoman. And, you know, the reality is these kinds of efforts, like the bill with Congressman Neguse, the 21st Century Civilian Conservation Corps, that I think can be a big economic multiplier with vendors in the private sector meeting those needs. The Oahe legislation, it doesn't happen by osmosis. It's because you bring people together. And the chairman and I have talked about this very often. When I was chairman of the committee, first place I went to was West Virginia because my colleagues said, just come on out and, listen. That's what people want, is they want people to have a chance to hear each other out and then find some common ground. And I'm convinced that in the middle of this pandemic, there's going to be an even greater appreciation for collaboration than there was before, because we've got to do it. It's what the president's talking about with Build Back Better, and you're setting a very good tone with your answers to my questions. I look forward to supporting your nomination, Congresswoman, and working with you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.